So how do you register one? It must be used as a trademark. This is what I've said. It has to be capable of indicating a source or origin. If it's merely descriptive, it's not going to work because it's not going to distinguish your goods and services over those of others. Other traders are going to need to use those particular words or images or something like that. And it can't be substantially identical or deceptively similar. They're strange words, I know, but they're taken directly out of the Trademarks Act. And they are meant to mean if you think that you've got two marks and you'll just change the spelling of one of the the letters, or, say something is fat and you've got the mark registered as FAT and you think, oh, well, I'll do PHAT. That's not going to get you over the line. If they're phonetically the same, you won't be able to get it. If they are visually almost the same, like emoji and emoji, tick different and think different, if they're covering the same goods, so that means that they're in exactly the same class covering the same goods, you'll have a fight on your hands. That's not to say it's impossible to address an examiner's objection. What it does come down to is how long you're willing to fight and how much you're willing to spend to fight. If your trademark is extremely descriptive and you've only been using it for 3 months, you will not be able to get it over the line, regardless of how much money. But if your trademark is descriptive and you've been using it for 20 years and you can show that actually lots and lots of people recognise your brand, you've put in a lot of money around marketing, you've had a lot of sales, you advertise all over the place, then you can show that you've actually had substantial evidence of use of that mark, and you quite would have a really good likelihood of success in actually getting that registered. It does come down to how long you've been using it, what the actual mark is, and how much you're willing to spend, unfortunately. But not everything is just a drop dead, oh, no, we can't do it. So as I said, distinctiveness is key. That's the pivotal thing to think about. So if we just, try and take a triangle, up here you've got something that's very generic and descriptive, and that a billion other people want to use or are using the same sort of brand. So it's rather not protectable. As you go, down the pyramid, to something that is extremely arbitrary, fanciful, made up, unique, that is where your strongest forms of trademarks will fall, because they can be very, very easily capable of distinguishing your goods over those of others. As I sort of highlighted previously, to get protection in other countries, trademark registration is key and it's territorial. So an Australian mark is not going to protect you in Canada. It may give you some protection under brand registry, but if you actually had a copycat selling the same product, with the same brand, etc., you could not enforce it unless you had a registered mark in that country. It provides stronger protection in the case of a dispute. As I said, you can file a dispute under the Trademarks Act rather than having to go through the common law court system. Provides exclusive rights to prevent others from even marketing products under the same name or confusingly similar marks. It provides, a customer loyalty, reputation, image of a company. So if you've got, a nice name and logo, etc., it gives a sense of assurance to a customer. It provides the right to prevent others from using that same name for internet domain names. So that's certainly something to consider. A lot of people, used to just jump out and get a domain name and then be cyber squatters. Cyber squatting is actually an offence, and if you have a trademark and someone is trying to, sell you your domain name for your mark at a very high price, there are certain avenues that you can report them for cyber squatting if it's legitimate that they've basically just got the domain name to try and extort money from you. It gives you the right to authorise others to use the name. So, you might want to set up a particular type of business where you're going to have distribution channels and things like that, or franchises. Well, if you own the brand, then you can license or franchise out your brand via different types of arrangements. Another thing to consider overseas as well is the country a first to file country or a first to use? So I'll get into that in just one sec to show you the difference. But what that basically means is in Australia, we are a first to file country. So whoever files the trademark application first is basically the registered owner sort of thing. In other countries, it's a first to use. So, you need to think about that to factor in when you apply for something. You might want to hold off for a little bit because you're using the mark and you can show evidence of use, but it is a risky move as well. And the statutory provisions and interpretations of the Trademark Acts in various different countries vary so considerably. So don't assume that just because you might get a clear report on your Australian trademark that you will not face issues in other countries, because they are looking at their own country only. So some people get quite frustrated when they get a clear run in Australia, and then when we go into the US or Europe, they've got considerable hurdle or other marks, and it's going to be costly to address. That's not my fault. It is just something that is a given. They are very individual countries and have different rules and have different what's called the prior art base. So Australia searches in Australia, Europe searches in Europe, sort of thing. So there may be 20 similar marks in Europe, but none in Australia. So that's why you may face differences in different countries.
Hey, this is Neil Asher from the Aussie Online Entrepreneurs. We help people just like you start your own successful business, selling things online, whether that's through Amazon, Shopify, eBay, whatever it may be. We've got the tools that you need to help you succeed online. Whether you're a complete beginner or indeed a professional making millions of dollars, we can certainly help you. By the way, we've helped over 2,500 people right now here in Australia, as well as right around the world. We've got sales in our members community of over $50 million. If you'd like to find out how we did that and come and join us, get yourself off to www.aussieonlineentrepreneurs.com.au. The link is in the description. That's aussieonlineentrepreneurs.com.au, and I will see you on the inside.